Wow, what a horrible game from the Cowboys. Absolutely horrible. 44-19 at home after a dominant win over Cleveland in week 1. And going into this game and going into the season, I had my concerns about this roster. But now I'm questioning the entire team, organization, top to bottom, because they were so awful today. And you guys usually see me be pretty positive about the Cowboys, but man, this game had me fuming. Let's get into it. Let's start on the defensive side of the ball because honestly, that's where all of the Cowboys' problems started. They gave up 35 points in the first half of this game. The first half. If you would have told me on Saturday that the Saints would score 35 points throughout the entire game, I would have said that I was worried about the Cowboys losing. But allowing 35 points in the first half, you're not going to win a game like that. It's impossible, it's unsustainable, and it gives me 2020 Cowboys flashbacks to when they gave up 38 to the Seahawks, 49 to the Browns, 39 to the Falcons. It's horrible flashbacks to that year when they had Mike Nolan as their defensive coordinator. And today, they got steamrolled that exact way. The Saints' first 5 drives of the game went like this: touchdown, 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 touchdown. And you won't believe it, but the 5th drive was also a touchdown. The Saints ran the ball, they threw the ball, they let Taysom Hill carry the ball, Alvin Kamara was good, Shaheed hit on a deep bomb on the 2nd drive of the game. Whatever the Saints wanted to do on offense, they did it. There was absolutely no resistance by this Cowboys defense. They couldn't stop the run, mainly because the Cowboys defensive tackles were being blocked into oblivion on every single run play. And it seems like the organization's plan of signing a bunch of vets that sat on the couch all summer was not a good move to kind of plug up the middle. They got destroyed all day long. Kamara had 20 carries for 115 yards, averaging 5.8 yards per carry. He scored 3 touchdowns on the ground and got another one through the air. And it was so reminiscent of Aaron Jones against Dallas in the playoffs a couple months ago. Couldn't stop the run, they couldn't tackle, the linebackers weren't good, the defensive tackles got mauled, the corner struggled. Donovan Wilson, I have no idea what he was doing on a number of different plays. The entire defense was terrible, and Mike Zimmer didn't have a single answer for what New Orleans was doing. The Saints pass catchers averaged 22 yards per reception in this game, with longs of 70, 39, and 57. I really can't believe that an NFL defense, a defense that has solid pieces, can be that bad. Not every single guy on that side of the ball is an all-pro, but they have solid players. Overshown, Kendricks, Lawrence, Parsons, Nealon, Diggs. I thought it might have been a Dan Quinn issue, a scheme issue, but no, this will have you reevaluating every single player on this defense. Because I couldn't tell you one that played well. That Kyle Shanahan scheme that we saw today continues to smack the Cowboys around. Dan Quinn wasn't the answer, and right now, Mike Zimmer doesn't look like he has a single answer either. And don't get me wrong, the Saints are good. Give them their props, but giving up 5 touchdowns in a row to start an NFL game is so much more than just lacking talent on defense. And props to Derek Carr for some big-time throws that he made early in this game, but he was never in danger today. He had guys running wide-ass open, and Donovan Wilson can't cover the deep middle to save his life. The defense was complete ass. They suck today, and if this is a season-long thing, the Cowboys are going to really struggle to win games. Before we continue, I wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BetUS. Football, basketball, ice hockey, baseball, whatever you need, BetUS has you covered. My favorite part is that you can filter by props, conferences, divisions, playoff specials, anything that you want. It's right there at your fingertips. So head over to BetUS and get an awesome deal with the deposit bonus and start playing this Sunday. They have an awesome promotion right now where you get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and then 125% on your next 2. And if you win, they have you covered with fast and easy payout. Thank you so much to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back into it. Now that's enough of the Cowboys defense. Let's talk about the offense a little bit. where it doesn't really get much better, to be honest. Early in this game, I thought they were all right, I guess you could say. They were put into a situation early in the game that probably changed every single plan they had for the offense today. And by the fourth consecutive touchdown, the offense knew that they were cooked if they didn't score every single time they touched the ball. And they probably knew that they were cooked even if they did score every single time because the defense was so bad. But even early in the game, kind of like we talked about with Cleveland last week, it was clear that the Cowboys weren't going to get anything from their run game. Rico Dowdle finished with 30 yards. Zeke had 16. Deuce Vaughn had 11. The ground game wasn't good, much like every other piece on this team. And going into the year, we were worried about that. And I'll admit, I've said before that I like Rico Dowdle. I liked him before the start of the season. I did think that the Ezekiel Elliott signing was a bit of wishful thinking, but this unit just hasn't been good. And based on the players that they have in that room right now, they're not going to be able to rely on it any this season. And as you can see, it really gets them into trouble when they have to consistently throw the ball on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, because they're averaging 2 yards a carry on first down. And Mike McCarthy has to chill out with these 2nd and 10 runs. The run game is not good enough to get you to 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 on a 2nd and 10 run. They haven't done anything this season to prove that they're going to help your offense running the ball on 2nd and 10. And because you can't run the ball, as you saw today, it puts a lot of pressure on the passing game, which today, for the passing game, I thought it was okay. The first Dak interception wasn't his fault. Jalen Brooks fell down. The second interception was his fault. It was bad, but by that point, the game was pretty much over, and for some reason, Dak likes to throw interceptions like in blowout losses. I thought that the CeeDee Lamb touchdown was awesome, but really after that, the offense just sputtered out for the rest of the game, and when they got into the red zone, it somehow got worse. Already in week 2, that this game showed a lot of people a big problem with the Dallas offense. They don't have any weapons. Their list of weapons are CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson. Ferguson was out with a knee injury, so CeeDee Lamb is the list. And as the Cowboys get into these games that CeeDee is bracketed, or Ferguson is out, or not having a great day, and you need a big chunk play, it's not going to happen. Now, I'm not going to say that Dak Prescott played great, but early in the game, I thought he was playing well enough for Dallas to be winning the game, tied, or at least in striking distance of the Saints. Too bad by that point, they were already down like a million. I want to go out there and say that Dak was not the reason that Dallas lost today. He just wasn't. Was he as good as he could have been in the second half? No. But by that point, it's an entirely new game of trying to play catch up because the defense sucks so bad. Dak's play going forward doesn't really concern me at all. What does concern me is the weapons that he has on the outside, the guys that he should be able to rely on. Because outside of Lamb, Jalen Tolbert had his moments in this game, but it's just not enough. Brandon Cooks is the wide receiver too, but I think he's starting to fade a little bit as he gets older, and he's just not going to be that guy if CeeDee Lamb can't produce like the Cowboys need. And there were a number of times that Dak had time, but from what I could see, no one was getting open. It's crazy because the Cowboys want Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks to work so bad for this team, but man, they haven't given you anything consistently to even think that that's possible, or done anything to make you want to rely on those guys. And I'm not trying to shit on Tolbert here because he probably had the best game of his career, but if Dallas wants to have a consistent offense, they're going to have to figure something else out at wide receiver. And then you have Jalen Brooks, a second-year player, a 7th-round pick from last year, that has gotten more snaps this year over the first 2 weeks than I'm sure he saw all of 2023. Having him out there is not great. It's not helping your offense. So next week, Ryan Flournoy better be active and in the game. At this point, you got to try something in that wide receiver room before you start looking outside of the building to bring a guy in. Flournoy has at least flashed some playmaking ability in the preseason. Why is he inactive? I think with this wide receiver room, that Flournoy is good enough to at least split some time with Brooks. And maybe even Tolbert. I don't know. What we saw today was an offense that relies way too much on 11, 12, 13 play drives to score. They're consistent consistently get into third down, and when they do, it's third and long. And if the Cowboys somehow miraculously do make it down into the red zone, they can't do anything. It's impossible to solely rely on picking up third downs, relying on CeeDee Lamb for your offensive production. It's not sustainable. It's not going to work long term. It didn't even work for 2 weeks. This game really has me questioning if Dallas should go out and try to make a move for a wide receiver, or at least make a move for a running back that can help their run game and maybe supplement some things out of the backfield in the passing game. Right now, they don't have the guys to do it. They got to figure out something. I don't know what their plan is. Probably don't have a plan. I know it's the Cowboys, but I do hope that they show some interest in making a move to fill a need. Wide receiver, running back, defensive tackle, something. Because now I'm really concerned about the depth and talent that they have at some of these positions. It was an awful game, but I still appreciate you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later this week. Again, I appreciate you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.